Yo guys, Vision Gen here, back with more Call of Duty Zombies content. Today's episode will be around IX or 9, the second Zombies map in Black Ops 4, and this is funnily enough episode 9 of the Zombies series as well. Funny how that's worked out, hey? All of my previous episodes are linked in the description below in case you guys want to go check them out. So on that note, let's get right into it. So I guess first things first, as a general overview, I feel like at this point, all I've had to say about Zombies is how amazing it is. Like every episode so far in this series is just me explaining how every single one of the maps in episodes 1 to 8 and now obviously 9 of all of the maps are just so good, and to an extent is why I've basically created this series and why these maps are so early in the series as well, because there's just so many great maps in Call of Duty Zombies, and this is of course is one of them. IX or 9 is amazing, but what's actually funny about this map in my ranking of it is this was actually my least favorite maps from Black Ops 4's original release maps of Voyage, 9 and Blood of the Dead when I first played back in the day. I don't really know why. I think a large part of it was having to do with me not playing it as much back in the day for various different reasons, but also when I did the Easter eggs back in the day in their prime, this was like legit the only map that I can remember to this point where I pretty much was like the trainer of zombies on this map. I did not do any of the Easter egg. I was literally carried through the entire thing, which is odd, as I've always been the guy who carries my mates through them. But in this one, I was literally just leading. I wasn't leading it at all. Like at literally no point in this Easter egg did I even remember what we were even doing, and therefore I don't remember being a big part of this map and having a good memory of it. It was literally my brother sort of leading me through the entire Easter egg. And thankfully, I was blessed and had a group of friends or brother and a cousin that I played all of the zombies with back in the day. And this was basically two other high skill players who made playing this game so much more enjoyable, but also completing Easter eggs with like-minded players and skilled players just makes it so much easier and just better overall. We did the Voyage Easter egg as well together, and the IX and the Blood of the Dead all together at the launch of this game. And then when Blackout came out, we kind of sort of stepped away from zombies in its entirety, which kind of is a shame, but it's why I came back to this series. However, like since then, as I said, I guess a large part of this series is because I have to go back and play all of these maps and relive the experience of both playing and completing Easter eggs or main quests in all of Call of Duty Zombies. And since starting this series, I can tell you that this map is truly a masterpiece, one that I'm so glad that I've come back to play and truly appreciate, and it's a sort of remarkable and unique player experience with so much attention to detail, challenging aspects in the map, with a great Easter egg story, journey, and boss fight, which I'll go over shortly in the video. Now, with regards to like rankings of this map, I haven't actually done an updated list in a while, but I am planning on doing one that eventually I'll upload to this channel, and I guess this map would rank very high on the list personally, but like I said, I need to sort of work it all out, play them all through to a point, and then sort of establish where I think this map would rank all the time, but I do definitely think it ranks really highly. I think doing the Easter egg solo was far easier than I probably thought it would be initially. Like I did this on my second attempt in this video this time round, and I wasn't actually expecting to do that, as Voyage literally took me 5 or 6 attempts literally a week or so ago before I was trying to then sort of come onto this map and then work my way through to Blood of the Dead, which will be coming out on the sort of the channel in episode 11, to look out for that, guys, if you guys weren't aware that this is basically the trend of what I'm doing. I'm sort of doing Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, and then going to go on to Black Ops 6 videos in the coming weeks and months, and then lead up to Black Ops 7 with the Black Ops 7 launch of zombies and so on. But basically with this map, like I said, I was very surprised. It was like late at night one night, and I was just sort of going in to sort of test the waters, get used to the map, build a bit more comfortable with it, try get as far through it to a point without taking too long. But then I actually realized that I really understood this map for some reason, and one, I also really enjoyed it, but also the Easter egg isn't that complicated in the grand scheme of things, and doing it on your own, especially with the Circuit's Kiss or the Death of Orion, of course, if it's not papped, and then the monkey loss and stuff like that, it's not actually that difficult of a map when you just know what you're doing and you have your wits about you. But for the most part, this overall Easter egg experience is amazing. The playability of this map is very underrated, or at least from what I've seen from feedback and so on and reviews that I've read from others on this map. The overall map in itself is just incredible. The map, like I said, on paper is pretty small and feels almost like done before, but it really hasn't in any reality to this point. It's all very unique and sort of new, with the concepts of using the ancient gods, the goddesses, having elemental zombies, tigers, gladiators, brawlers, and blight fathers. It's just incredible, very challenging, but so rewarding, and I love that aspect about this map. I personally don't like an easy and swift experience for any part of zombies. Like, it makes it boring or too easy and not rememberable for any part. Like I said, I know I've done this in my second attempt, but like I have been hot on playing zombies lately. Like, it's not like I'm rusty and haven't played in months. Like, I'm fully competent at playing zombies, so I guess any average player probably wouldn't be able to do a second time. Maybe they can, but for the most part, this was like a really fun and definitely a challenging Easter egg, and I did have to lock the fuck in when playing this map. Like, it was definitely not an easy experience for the most part when you think about it on the grand scheme of things, but like I said, doing it second time did sort of give me a huge sense of relief, knowing that I've actually just ticked this off the list. And I kind of am a bit gutted by that, because I like the fact that I played Voyage and did it or attempted it 6 times, because I feel like I really got the most out of that map, although I obviously struggled and just messed up in certain areas, which if you haven't seen that video, it's episode 6, it's linked in the description, you can go check that out. Like, I did struggle in certain areas stupidly, that was my own mistakes for the most part, but this map, I feel like I've just done it too quickly, so I'm going to go back and play this map eventually once I've completed all of the Black Ops 4 DLCs and stuff like that, and then I'll come back to this map, because I really want to play this map again without any intention of doing the Easter egg, and just trying to appreciate this map and for what it is, and try and do anything else above and beyond the Easter egg in itself, and just trying to appreciate the overall experience of this map for a certain different aspect, which isn't something I typically do. I typically play zombies for Easter eggs and only really Easter eggs at this point. Like, I've just just got really accustomed to only wanting to play the main stories of doing Easter eggs and stuff like that. Obviously, on maps where you can't do an Easter egg, or maps where you need 4 players, then it's slightly different. But for the most part, I am just obsessed with doing Easter eggs, and I guess it is a large part of doing this series and why every map in this video, also in this series, every episode that I upload has to have done an Easter egg. I can't upload the video, I can't give you an overview of that map and the sort of what the aspects of it, what I think about it and so on, until I've done the actual Easter eggs. It's almost like the law or the absolute requirement. In order to upload it, I feel like it's just unjustified to have not done the Easter egg and not to experience it before I can actually talk about the map and how I sort of perceive the experience. And like I said before, it's a huge part on how I rank maps anyway, and it's a massive part of factor as to why I play zombies. I really enjoy and get a lot of dopamine, and I'm very passionate about playing zombies and completing Easter eggs, as you could probably tell. And I do appreciate that the wonder weapon on this map does make it a lot easier, albeit, and when you do have like the monkeys and a level 3 staff, or whether a special weapon you decide to go with, it does make it a lot easier, of course. And I guess that is why all of that combined just makes the experience that much more enjoyable, because at the same time, of course, it's a bit easier, but the death of Orion or Circuit's Kiss when Pack-a-Punch is just wicked, and it's such a cool gun to use, and reminds me a lot of like the Wonder Waffle from back in the day, in a sense, with the way it creates a chain reaction, but then also adds its nice little spin to it, making it unique to itself with the AoE and crowd control ability that it has, which is just super cool and very powerful, especially in the boss fight, which you'll see in this gameplay and at the clip at the end of the video. But overall, I think this map is amazing. Now, as for the Easter egg in itself, this is a really cool and thought out Easter egg with so many cool, intricate details. I have no idea how on earth anyone figured this Easter egg out. I would love to know the true origin of exactly what it was like to experience this, because I remember watching this back in the day to a big extent. Like I said, I wasn't really into this map at the time, so I didn't really take much note to this one, but to have figured this map out back in its prime, and when it just came out, I have no idea how Mr. Rufflefuss and so on and Dalek or whatever made up the sort of guides as quick as they did on this map, because there's so much going on that I literally have no idea, without any clues, how they would have got to the point of figuring out this Easter egg from its entirety, because this is definitely one of the most complicated Easter eggs I've ever come across, when you think about it from a point of view of not following along a guide, but actually creating a guide, because following along is not that difficult, but creating this spontaneously would have been one of the most remarkable achievements. I have no idea how, so tip my hat to those guys, whoever did this for the first in the world. I'm pretty sure it was Mr. Rufflefuss. So yeah, like I said, massive congrats to them guys, because this is a really cool map and a really cool Easter egg experience. Now what I'll do is I'll quickly summarize the Easter egg in its entirety. Like I said, this is not a guide. I say this in all the videos for this series and all these episodes. This is not a guide by any means. I appreciate this is a very old map now at this point. No one is watching this video for it to be a guide. I do know that, and I appreciate that as well. This is purely for me to share my views on the map and my opinions on the experience of playing this map and completing all of the Easter eggs myself, and just sort of uploading evidence on the channel so that I have a memory or like an archive of completing these experiences and reliving them at any point in the future, because that is literally the whole purpose of why I created this series. And I'll go over a little touch on the structure of it at the end just to remind you guys. But like I said, as an overview of this map, the first thing you literally need to do is get the Pack-a-Punch. You need to get all 4 of the skulls from doing the rituals. You then need to get your shield. You need to do the missions at the start, get the pot, get the upgraded gun, get the Death of Orion, and then upgrade that eventually to the Circuit's Kiss. You need to get the wooden cog that you get from the gladiator throwing the sort of his axe across the wooden pyre. You then need to get your crowd affinity, the little thumb in the bottom left corner, down to red by taking damage, throwing grenades into the crowd, standing in fire, whatever it is, and you need to get it down to red, and then basically the crowd will throw poop at you. You then need to go take that poop down to a certain room in a minute. Once you get that, you need to go down into the temple, get the blue skull, which can be in certain areas. It's pretty hard to find at first when you don't know what you're looking for. Once you get the skull, you then go take that into the grinder, which is in one of the cool rooms to the side of the map, which is just a really like eerie sort of area, the crypts. And then once you've got the skull in the grinder, you shoot with the Death of Orion, and then you sort of basically grind that skull down into a paste. You get the paste, you get the poop, and then eventually you get the burnt wood after it's sort of taken about 2 or 3 rounds. You put it all together and you put it into a little sort of mushy pile into basically the Danu room, and then you can start your first trial. And in your first trial, you basically have to shoot these little red spots along the tree. Each time you shoot one red spot, you have to go up a level, and then you have to eventually do it 3 times while zombies are around you. But with the monkeys, this step is easy. Then you basically have completed or appeased Danu. Once you've done that, you can now start the Ra step, which effectively there are 8 spots around the map with ball symbols. You effectively need to shoot 4 of them with the shield gun and basically set them on fire. Once you've got that, you can go into the Ra temple, hold square on the obelisk, and basically what will happen is it will depict an order. There's a certain order which you have to be able to read the symbols, and obviously you just follow the guide because most of them all show exactly what they are. You basically have to then kill 4 zombies in a certain order. It could be gladiators, tigers, brawlers, elemental zombies, you name it. You basically have to do that twice, repeat that process, and effectively you'll fill the obelisk with 8 symbols. Once you have done that, you've effectively appeased the Ra god and effectively done that step. Now you can go back to the Pack-a-Punch, and you'll now need to get the dead wire equivalent in this game, which is the kilowatt upgrade on your Pack-a-Punch weapon, and basically use this for this next step. There are going to be 4 lightning rods around the map. Each of the 4 lightning rods will go up into the middle of the arena once you shoot them, and effectively there'll be 4 little rods in the actual arena which will be sparking, and you'll need to basically get souls using the kilowatt or dead wire equivalent sort of upgrade, and use that to kill zombies and and kill gladiators and so on, and fill that souls up in each of the 4 zones. You effectively go into the middle square, hold square on this sort of in the pillar, and then effectively from there you'll have to shoot those lightning rods, go up to the top, get the souls, and then you'll complete that step, and you'll go into the final phase of this last one to appease Odin, where effectively it will spawn a stupid amount of gladiators and brawlers and tigers, and you'll have to defeat all of them and last for about a minute to a minute and a half. And it's pretty cool because if you can get a kill, every time you get a kill, it resets the cooldown timer on your special weapon, and you basically get unlimited special weapon. If you have your wits about you, this step can be done pretty easily. I won't lie to you, I didn't struggle, but I did have a hard time in this step because I was not expecting it to go on for as long as it did, and I kind of didn't really sort of throw my monkeys, and I was like, holy god, I thought this was going to be really, really easy because it started off easy, but then suddenly there was like 20 brawlers on the map, and I was like, there's fire, there's brawlers, gladiators, and tigers, so yeah, it can be more difficult than I think most of the guides say it can be, but once you have your wits about you and you know what you're doing, it's pretty straightforward. Now that you've appeased Odin, you can do the final step, which is to appease Zeus. In order to do this, there will basically be 9 symbols around the map, all below the ground, by the crypts, the pit, and so on in the collapsed tunnel. Effectively, you will need the Circuit's Kiss, and you'll have to basically jump shot and shoot through like certain zones where there's basically 3 symbols in a line. You have to basically line up all 3 of these symbols in 3 different areas, so 9 total, and basically line them all up and shoot them in one single shot. Effectively, when they stay lit, you then effectively need to go down to the back of the map and go into basically where the metal grate is on the floor, using in the shield room, and hold square on top of that, and then again survive a couple of waves where you have to defeat gladiators, tigers, brawlers, and even zombies, and then of course at the end you'll have to fight some blight fathers, which can be a little bit difficult if you don't know what you're doing, but for the most part, if you do, it's really straightforward. You just need to use your sort of your special weapon, your staff, whatever it may be, as well as the Circuit's Kiss, because this is perfect for this area, and then as well as like monkeys or whatever, because there are max damage that spawn, and then from there you pretty much have to collect the key at the bottom of the water grate after you've done this, and effectively you can start the boss fight. Now the boss fight is amazing. It's pretty straightforward when you use the middle column in this, what you'll see in this gameplay and in this clip. You'll see that I'm just constantly running around in circles on this middle tower. This is effectively what I would advise to do. Obviously you can use the helium salvo, which makes this stupidly easy as well, but I tried not having to use that for this because I used it for Voyage, and it did make the Easter egg for the boss fight against the giant eye a lot easier. And in this you'll just see it's pretty straightforward. You have a stupid amount of max damage that spawn. You can just keep throwing monkeys, use your Circuit's Kiss when needed to defeat sort of the clear crowds or any gladiators that spawn before the elephants do, and then a giant elephant will come out. You have to defeat the elephant by shooting the armor, shoot the heart, and then shoot the head. Once you do that, the first elephant will die, and like I said, yes, the first elephant, because there is actually 2, and when I came back to watching this guide and was sort of preparing to do this Easter egg, I actually did not remember having to defeat 2. I thought it was just 1. Defeating 2 was the cherry on top and made this so much cooler. The second one is actually harder to defeat, and the guys on top that are riding the elephant actually are super powerful, and if you stand out in the open for too long, you will definitely go down really, really quickly. So it's all about trying to sort of maneuver this pillar even better and more efficiently than you were before. Like the first one's a bit of a teaser, it's just definitely easier, and the second one is far more difficult, but once you know what you're doing, it's pretty straightforward. It's the exact same process over and over again, and yeah, that's pretty much the boss fight. The boss fight is incredible. Like I said, 2 giant elephants in a boss fight. You can't ask for much more than that. Like, in summary, I think this map is just incredible with the concept of using the goddess of Danu. You've got Ra, the Egyptian lore. You've got the Norse mythology with Odin. You've got Zeus. It's so much going on with regards to the detail of all of those specific aspects. And then, of course, you've got the Circuit's Kiss, or, of course, the Death of Orion, where it's non-upgraded. You have the monkeys. You have, of course, the special weapons, the Brazen Bull Shield, which is amazing on this map. I love that. And then so many other cool aspects in this map as well, which make it really unique and a memorable experience, to say the least. And then, of course, like I said, a boss fight with 2 bosses. You can't ask for much more than that, especially if you've got like the elemental zombies on the map. You have the brawlers, the gladiators, the zombies, and as well as the blight fathers as well. This map is challenging, but at the same time really rewarding and super satisfying to play and complete this Easter egg. I promise you, learn from me. This was definitely one of the best Easter eggs I've ever done. Something I was very proud of to come do and do in my second attempt, and also do the boss fight for the first attempt as well. Just something I definitely couldn't recommend enough for returning players to come back and try this out, or newer players who have never done this before. Definitely give this a try. But anyways, that is the video as a whole. As always, if you've enjoyed the video, do not forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any comments, tips, or tricks about playing zombies in general, or even any suggestions about future videos that you want to see on the channel, or even about Black Ops 4 zombies in general, let me know down below and I'll get right back to you. I'm reminisce. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.